So today's topic is gear connections, and we will solve plenty of tasks about this topic. So first task is following. We will solve it in two possible ways. First approach will be, as we discussed during the class today, that, so what is it?
Planetary, blah blah blah.
Yes. And in this case we have OA, which is moving. And the original, the first gear is fixed. So now we will firstly solve it using this approach. So we will fix OA and solve it in this manner, as we do it today during the class. Did it today during the class. And this is Alexander helps me to solve this task in classical manner. As we, let's say, second approach will be as, for instance, we don't know how to solve it in a special way. So we are talking about. Сейчас я решу первый свой обычный. Ну да,
Понимаю.
Игра, чтобы
Компромонетный?
График пружин.
Панчу 500 рублей штука.
500 рублей штука. Штука пружины, типа.
Конечно, мне же надо купиться.
500, 1000. Что-то.
Okay, so if we're fixing OA in this case.
Разной жесткости.
Все, Ярик, блин.
Извините.
Потом будешь лететь с этим.
Извините, Рамзан Ахматович.
In this case let's call it first, second, third, yes. It's first, 0, first, second, third. So we have this one,
So we have 4 gears.
yes. So
Like
you may see one.
the first and second have the same angular velocity.
Yes, you're right. So in this case, this will be like this. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
So this one, what was it?
Omega 1 star.
This will be omega 2 minus omega. This is classical omega.
Okay.
So omega 3 will be minus omega and minus omega. But
So we fix OA and three
yes,
gears.
and 3 other gears. So in this case, this guy become, we don't have V0. It's equal to 0 because it's fixed in the region.
And omega is the angular velocity of R.
We have OA, this crank arm, whatever how you want to call it, and it moves like this.
With
so it's
omega.
fixed, and
Omega.
it's like this.
With omega.
Yes. So now so let's go from the 0 to first and find all the relationships. So what will be omega 1 respected to omega 0? Okay, yeah, I mean,
Z0, Z1.
that's it?
Yes.
Okay.
Shouldn't be the negatives. No.
What?
No.
It's negative if it rotates in the same direction, I remember.
No. Like, if we just connect gears, it will be negative. If we connect it on an axle or shaft, it will be the same sign, or
Then it's
both
negative.
will be inside each other.
1 and 0 is negative.
What is zero? What is zero?
The number of teeth. The second is 0. It should be minus.
So
Minus.
minus?
Minus. Well, if it rotates in different direction, it's minus. If in the same, it's plus. Right?
I'll handle this for a bit. I mean, we'll discuss about it later. So after this, we have.
Ставь минус скобочка.
So as we know that this guy equal to this guy, and third one expected to second one is equal to that 2 and that 3. Now we need to summarize all these equations and let's discuss about positive or negative. Should it be negative? Because it's in different ways.
So for 3 and 2.
So now we need to compile them together. And actually we can do it over myself or I just transfer. In the end, so it should be the answer. Using this method, yes, we can solve it fast. But now let's try to solve it.
Actually, I like the method when we like compare the radii more. Like, since we know this radius, we know the angular velocity. After this, we know this smaller radius. We can relate them. Like, for some reason, I like it more. Maybe this is the original one.
So,
Can you make sure if it's recording or not? Because I see your phone is like.
Let's check. It seems it worked.
Что у тебя work?
Okay.
Запись.
Well,
We're doing the same task.
Yes, but now we are trying to solve it if we assume that we don't know how to solve it using, let's say,
В тупую.
yes, now we're trying straightforward way.
Brutal way.
Brutal way.
The way of real man. Who came to the exam seeing this task for the first time. Where is the Bob? He promised me to test on his Raspberry today.
We lost Vika, we lost Nastya, we
good
lost
enough. Well, we have other colors.
I don't know where is Bob.
Bob slept for the whole previous day.
Others.
Nastya decided probably that it's good to have a rest. Vika was like a ghost.
Oh, we have omega. This is an omega OA, link OA, or link OA. It means that the velocity of point velocity of point will be and velocity of point A may be found as VB is omega multiplied OB. VA is omega multiplied OA. Of course, OB is R0 plus R1 and OA is R0 plus R1 plus R2 plus R3. Ready? This distance is this plus this plus this plus this. Yes? Well, of course, R0 is model of this multiplied Z0.
It should be half of that.
1 is the same model multiplied Z1. What?
That should be half. Like diameter is model number of teeth, but
Yes, of course.
Actually, it's constant, so we can drop all of them.
Yes. Of course. Okay. Multiplied, divided by 2. And R2 must be Z2 divided by 2. R3 must be Z3 divided by 2. But this 2m and this 2m are different because there are different gaps, different gap x. Oh, of course, they may be the same, but may be different. It is, all variants may be. Well, then, what motion the central gear moves? What type of motion?
Rotation, plane motion.
Yes, plane motion. We know that the rigid body can move transparently, can rotate, can create plane motion, spherical motion, and space motion. Of course, in this situation, the central wheel create plane motion. It rolls around the surface of the zero gear. That it means that this point is instantaneous center of velocities for central gear. Central gear has numbers, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And at this point, I will say that this is C12. That means instantaneous central velocities for gear 1, 2. That the angular velocity of this gear is omega 1, 2 is velocity of point B divided by distance between point B and instantaneous central velocities. C12 B, or VB divided by R1. Then we can find the velocity over this point. How we can find the velocity of this point?
Relative to C12, like at the velocity of C12 plus
Yes. This point is connected to the central gear, and the central gear has instantaneous central velocity is here, and it means that the velocity of this point, maybe this point is d, vd, is omega 1, 2 multiplied by r1 plus r2. Do we? If we show it on the picture, we need a border a little more than we have, because it must be something like this. Well, something here. Then we know two velocities of 2 points which belongs to the last gear. We know the point Vd, we know the point the velocity Va. Then it means that the instantaneous center of velocities for third gear is something here. These are the end of Vd something here, so maybe something like this. C3 is an instantaneous central velocities for the third gear. Then we need to find angular velocity of the third gear. We can do it, we can write omega 3 is VA divided by AC3, or we can write omega 3 is VD divided by D.
AD.
D, C3, this is it. We must get the point velocity and divide it by a distance between the point and the instantaneous central velocities. Do we? And then we can calculate these distances using this formula. So of course we can rewrite it as VA AC3 equal VD DC3, and the equal the same type DC3 minus the distance between D and A, so it is a radius R3 is equal AC3. Then we need to then we need to use this formula here, and VA multiplied DC3 is the same as VD multiplied DC3 minus 3. This is here VA minus VD DC3 is equal minus V VD by F3 and D C3 is minus VD F3 VA minus VD. Oh, well, minus here means just we need have minus here, and we really have it because VA is less than VD. So this is no problem. Of course, DC3 is a positive value. And then omega 3 is VD. I write it without minus. VD 3 VD minus VD. And then use this here. VD is VD decided divided by DC3. VD divided VD 3 VD minus VA VD here and here then VD minus VA divided by F3. Oh, of course we can we could get this result more simple way, just using the difference between velocities of 2 points on the body and divided by the distance between along the perpendicular to the these velocities. Of course, this method may be used only if we have 2 points which velocities has the same perpendicular to each other. In a common way, in a common situation, we must use this more long way, but more как это думается надежно?
Robust.
Not robust. No, robust is not possible. Well, okay.
Reliable.
Yes. Reliable.
Really, yes.
That long method is more reliable. Well, what else? We need to find the ratio between omega and omega 3. Yes?
Actually, we need to find omega 3.
Hmm?
We need to find omega 3.
We need just to find omega 3. Oh, then maybe we find it. Omega 3 is Vd minus Va, where Vd is omega 3. Yes, okay, of course. Vd, what is Vd? Vd is omega 1, 2 multiplied R1 plus R2 minus Va. Va is omega multiplied by all of these reduces 0, R3, R2, R3 and divided by R3 and then omega 1, 2 is Vb divided by R1 and Vb is omega multiplied R1 R0 plus R1 divided by R1 multiplied R1 plus R2 and minus omega R0 R1 plus R2 plus R3 divided by R3. Well,
Yes. Okay.
if I didn't do mistake, sorry?
I mean, to sum up, yes. We spoke about 15 minutes to solve this task using this way, and the 3 minutes to solve it in, in simple way if you know how to
I
solve it.
mean, we can like maybe even more simplify. Like we can split into two tasks. Like we can remove the gear 0 and solve the simple problem as if it was fixed. And after this, append this gear 0 and find the initial angular velocity.
I don't know, maybe. Well, the next way is understandable, I think. I'm going to write it for finish, to understand, to check that that's all right. But if you don't want to, you can do it at home. Okay?
Thanks. So, the idea was to show you that there are several ways to solve it. The next one is
What is this book? The name of the book? Which
Mещерский. Yes. As usual, Mещерский, Jablonski, that's from theoretical mechanics. So, Henny, it's your turn.
No, I don't think so.
The whiteboard.
No.
Henny.
No?
In this case, you need to solve it in your handbook and show me.
Yeah.
Ой, fuck. Чё, я что ли?
So,
I'm a man after all.
Yeah.
What is the task? О, answer key, right?
of course,
I
answer.
can подогнать под answer.
Sure, you can. It seems it won't.
Я не понял. Типа...
It's two subtasks.
плюс.
External meshing and internal meshing.
Чё, не понял? Ну ладно.
Зацепление.
Я не понял. Сцепление, ну ладно.
Can you wait your answer?
Answer.
Okay, so get out of this field of view. It's not bad actually, but you are blocking actually.
You can.
There's another
shift.
person here. You understand?
Dania is working.
No, other persons.
Чё там и какие-то странные голоса? Короче, как это будет нормально? И чё, надо просто найти её? Calculates absolute angular velocity v2 of gear 2. Absolute is this. Also find its angular velocity v2 free with respect to the prime. Okay, v2 free is this. Okay. So it's our input gear. We assume we know its angular velocity v1. We know radius. So it's pretty simple. Have this point to text like this, velocity like this. V1, 2. So
So you can solve it using two manners.
Like
First
real
manner,
man
you
is this
sustain your
first.
center of velocity,
And we can fix that.
and you can, yes, or fix can.
Okay. So real men don't fix cranks.
So in this case, how to find V2? Let's start with
We know omega 1
so it's omega 1 multiplied by
by R1 plus R2. Okay. So it's omega 1 plus R2.
okay. So also you have also yes.
And if we know V2, we can find it like ratio. So omega 1 equal V2 by R1 plus R2 equal to V12 by 1. Yeah, represent here.
Are these like two different questions or?
Yes, the different questions. You can read there. The meshing may be internal or internal.
Okay, so we need to solve it in both ways.
Yes.
Okay. So now we know this is V12. We need to find V23. V23 is V12 divided by R2. Alright? V2 is V12 by R2.
What are you doing? Actually, you already solved the task.
We need to find the V23 and
V2, no. See, yeah, you also remember. I think you solved the first part of that.
and something went wrong, I guess. Omega 3 is written here.
Да, in your case it's omega 1. Wait, it's omega
What is omega 3?
This is
The
3 and
omega
second.
1. Okay.
You
So
have
the
first
third
and
is
second.
the link.
Second is the same, but third and 1 should be.
The third is the link, right? O1, O2.
Ah!
1,
I'm writing
3,
this.
yes.
The link.
Just here.
You can read it by asking.
No, I read it and
And
I'm confirming about it.
Why do you need it if I didn't make the statement myself? You can read it and see crank free.
Yeah, I'm replying on him, not on you.
So V2 is, we have V2 free, and V2 is, I guess it's V2 divided by R1 plus R2 minus V2 free, right? V2 divided by 1 plus R2 is V1. Yeah. So omega 1 minus omega 1 F2 equal omega 1 actually F2 is less than F1. It's plus here. So it's plus here. Why plus? And actually it's what I want. Always a pleasure when you can put it next to that. Yeah. Maybe we can solve it the smart way.
Я хочу собі
We also have subtask, right?
Yes, you can solve the second task using a smart way.
Okay. If it's smart way, we won't need a lot of place. Okay, cool. pair 2. This 1. We again need to find B2 and B23. B23 is. Well, why 2, 3? Let's call it V1, 2. And this is V2. So. Okay. So our input gear is the larger gear. We know it's omega 1. We can find velocity at this point. V1. 2 is omega 1 and 1.
And how's your progress?
I think I got the result, but I'm not sure if it's correct or not. And I'm checking this. What?
There is answer.
At the same time, this gear has the same velocity at that point. So its angular velocity around this point is actually in this direction. We need to solve smart way, I forgot. Okay, we fix what we fix. We fix this crank,
Yes.
and our big gear now rotates around. We fix big gear, and it rotates around small gear, because small gear now not relatively moves the big gear. So we have this. Steps. 1 second. Fix this. So now V1 star. We'll have V1 star equal to. We'll have also angular velocity of the crank, right?
Mm-hmm.
So angular velocity of the crank is just omega. And omega is minus omega 1 in all coordinate system, right? Omega is minus omega 1. So omega star 1 is just omega, right? It just changes sign because
Are you sure?
no. And we now fix this frame, so it won't have angular velocity. It will have angular velocity in all coordinate system.
So how many angular velocities do you have there?
We fix crank.
No, I mean in general. We have 3 bodies. So 3 bodies.
This have this and this.
Yes. So right. V1, I mean
In new coordinate
in the
system.
coordinate systems.
Okay, V1 star.
The seconds are just in case. And we decided that we fixed the first. The crank is fixed. So it's equal to 0.
Fix it so it's equal to 0, then V1 star is
V1 minus
VH, which is 0. Just V1.
VH old.
VH. V2. Now, velocity of the center. It's V1 2 old minus VH.
So we need to write the relationship between 1 and 2.
So V1 star plus
You have one H down?
Yeah, H is correct.
Ah, this is the energy.
Wait, it's bigger? It's smaller? It's smaller or it's bigger? Everything is okay.
It seems we need to put minus.
Yeah.
So,
Same direction. Okay, and we have this relationship. V1 minus VH. We need to extract V1 2. So V1 2 equal VH. Then divided minus R1 R2 V1 minus VH. And VH is VH alt is V1? No. It's VH alt.
No, it's new. New. Она не должен быть.
Старая это Иваночка. Иваночка, правильно.
Сейчас здесь поставить 0, то у тебя получается на это.
И здесь так.
Да.
Хорошо. Понимаю. Подгонка под это круто. Но если это старая какая-то система, то тут VH не 0. Если вот так только сделать, тогда все логично. The biggest problem is to express the challenge. And we also need to find V2, call V2, which is...
so
How you can find using this way.
here you fixed also the crank, right? For the shaft.
Yes, and angular velocity of the shaft in all coordinate systems just V1, right? No, it's not V1. V1 is angular velocity we need to find VH. But we know already that VH should be 0 here. So why it should be 0? Because we have omega 1, which is angular velocity of our external gear. It rotates. Because it rotates, the smaller gear rotates, and it rotates the crank. So the crank is like the last actuated point. Actually, for this mechanism, it's simpler to use straightforward way. Whatever.
Okay.
But we also need to find V2, and from here, let's assume it's minus.
Minus 2 you can find in the previous, as you did the previous time. Actually, the faster.
We didn't find it actually.
I mean, you find. Because you called it as the VK.
EK?
I mean, we want.
V12. And here also V12 is contact
Yeah.
point. But here we need not V12 but V2. It's here. So also goes here. It's here. It's the opposite. Yeah, it goes here. V2. So V2 by R1 minus R2 this time
Mm-hmm.
plus V12, whereas V2 is what is it? So again,
Omega 1 divided by, I mean, in this relation. In the end, you should have only omegas and R's in answer. Ah, I see.
Just one. Minus V1 and 1 or 2. Equals to 1, 2 minus 1.
Divided by yes. So it's correct. What do you miss it?
Only, no, it's not correct.
Why?
We have no minus.
You loaded somewhere.
Maybe here. Like, no, it's bullshit. We just obeyed the answer. This way it was more or less understandable. But here we screwed up where we each have some.
There is a goal to show you the difference, because in one book you may see the schematic scheme, how it looks like, and I mean a gears itself, so it can help you to understand how you need to read it.
This is the same mechanism.
Yeah, the same mechanism. You may see that this is shaft, and this shaft is a connection. This gear, this gear, this gear, this gear.
And I is the input, H is the output. Yeah?
What again?
I is the input, H
It's
is the
not
output.
I.
What?
It's first and second. And previous it was also the first and second. I don't know why you read it as H.
Romanian numbers.
But actually, most of these tasks solving is the same way, because you are fixing something. In this case, what do you need to fix?
First is
We
middle
can
crank.
simplify. Like remove half of the picture.
Who
We
cares?
fix it.
We solved the
yes.
same task. Why we consider it again?
What again?
We solved in the lecture.
Yes,
the same.
I know. I mean that actually this task almost the same. We fix it after this omega 1 minus omega fix. I mean how to say h as we wrote it in the class. Blah blah. We wrote all omegas in this manner. Some, for instance, second, third omega should be equal because they they connect to each other. I mean they fix to each other, and you solve it in the same manner. Most of the task from the Mещерский looks like this. You just fix something and solve it. Also, the fourth task, fifth task will be new one. This is solved one. So the goal almost the same, and also again I put the mechanism and the schematic scheme.
Actually, this is better.
It's better for you for understanding, but try to draw it in the. So I need to show you a scheme. You want to show me kinematics. What will be better for you? To draw this guy or this guy? That's it. It's kinematic scheme. This is drawing. Let me call like this. It helps you to understand what is it, because now you're not so experienced and you can get it how to work with it. Look on this picture. I mean, compare them and see. Okay, we have shaft there, have share. So, for instance, you can understand what is it, because in this case you can get it. This is fixing. I mean, it's.
So the middle gear is fixed, right?
What?
The middle gear is fixed.
What do I mean by
This
fixed?
one.
No. It's not fixed. How it can? Actually, it can be written there.
Okay.
Why there are like two I's? I and I.
Because look at this.
It's the same shaft.
It's one shaft.
And this is the output.
So, mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So it's one shaft.
Okay. And actually, like,
We need to find the shaft too.
for this one.
What again?
No.
Actually, it starts something almost the same way. It's but it looks more complicated. I will add the solution for you if you want to read it. Now I'd like to discuss about this one.
Oh, my beloved.
Danya's the best,
Yeah.
the lowest task.
Yeah.
So-
Absolutely.
In our case, we need to find the angular, the second. So actually, again, the schematic scheme, the drawing, I mean, the mechanism itself, how it looks like inside view problem. So how can we solve this guy? Actually, solve it in one step.
Well, it's not much difference from usual gears, because you need to project.
Yeah, exactly. So, in our case, we need to write so VA equal to AB omega 1. Also, VA in this case at this point. So, let's make a picture. So in this case, verb should be the how to say omega. So this is omega, this is omega. So addition is 1, 1, 1. So the A should be AB omega 1, and also it should be AC omega 1. Do you agree with it? Because this point. Omega 2, sorry, my bad. So omega 2 respect to omega 1 is AB AC.
And the direction of VA like this is out.
But actually it doesn't matter in that case. So what is it AB? We know angles. And also you have a cheat sheet where you can see signs there.
That's conjecture.
Yes, exactly. So actually it's AB. Wait, yeah.
When you have to be.
You can cancel out ace. It will be B over C.
Sign. Because whole alpha. A single whole alpha. And we just took this guy.
I don't know the sign.
Справедливо.
Yes. We know only the angle.
Well, makes sense.
And yes. AO we also don't
And
know.
I did the same knowing the signs. So I knew the gear ratio and I needed to calculate them, so I did reverse task.
The reverse task?
At home, yeah.
I see. So I mean, to sum up this task, just so in some cases you need to just fix something. When talking about bevel gears, or conic gears, you need to talk about geometrical stuff. So in this case, you just look at this, understand the projections, and blah blah blah, and solve this task. Actually, is this too big? How to say field of? I mean, this too big possible? I mean, tasks, type of tasks. This one and the previous one when you need to fix something and calculate. When you have the simple reducer or multiplicator, I mean, doesn't matter. When you just need to go omega 2 divided by omega 1, omega 3 divided by omega 2, and blah blah blah. And after this, multiply the solutions. We did it today on the class, not in the lab. Actually, that's all for gears. But don't forget tomorrow on Thursday you need to install ANSYS. Yes, ANSYS.
And you should still has troubles with educational subscription.
So as I remember, we can't render without educational.
Yeah.
You can render it. You cannot render motion study, but you can render a picture.
You can render cool stuff, but without motion.
Yes,
Or turntable, like
you cannot do it. Oh, you can.
turntable. You can request 100 credits, and for 100 credits you can.
I see. So, yes.
But you cannot animate motion.
Nobody has educational license. Can you
but
have?
for different email, not this university. Not
And you don't need it for this
Not this
university. So in this case, you need to make the home task who don't have the educational license, because now, as I heard, there are some problems with it.
So I can.
Yeah,
so
it
should I do it
doesn't
or
accept.
not?
Yes, you should do it,
Our
because
emails.
some of us has
Like
educational
just
license.
like
Actually, it's
the
good,
difference
yes.
will be one press.
Yes, I know,
That's-
but how to say, despite it, you need to do the whole process.
Should have said what you don't have educational license.
Yeah.
Also, I
Yeah,
hope
remember now,
I
yeah.
aware you that there are some hotfix about drawings, thanks to Danya, because he found the problem.
there was also something else, but I was too lazy to write to you, so they can. I found something else. I don't remember. Anyway.
Actually, you can get the educational license very easily. Maybe I can send a link for you all.
It does not accept university. man.
Well, you don't need the university.
No.
You don't need, actually, yes.
You just need to send a scan, for example. I send a
Yeah,
scan.
there is a problem. Like I tried to do that, and they have problems with the website for the whole.
So now you need to send a scan?
No. Like
I don't want
You
the
have
facts
to-
of it, to be honest.
like
There is a system, and actually I approved my Spotify account, so they should know me. Anyway, this system doesn't work then. Like on Fusion, they like.
How is it related to Spotify?
I mean, the same system approves everything.